Hello and welcome back. We are at the end of Mibu Village. We have defeated Orin of the Water, possibly related to Lord Sakuza or Devil Sakuza or Honda Shigetsugu. So, a thing right here, there will be a phantom if you come here later. They appear if you go to areas later in the game. There are slight changes of that due to time passing. Here is the village elder, or high priest. The Mibu villagers are waiting outside. So, if you want to do this easily, you puppet this big guy. We are getting closer to when things in Sekiro kind of coalesce, where all of the stories we've been working on and following start to just get together, finally connect. We finally get to know what's going on with basically everything. Mibu is an area that's pretty messed up, as I've talked about. So was Central. After this, we'll just have Sunken Valley. Sunken Valley is kind of short. Itchy tasty indeed. We need to get inside of that building, but there's no entrances. We can't even jump over here. There's sort of an invisible wall in those branches. But thankfully, we remember from the prologue getting to go underneath. But where do we go? Oh, a shinobi floor? This area is spooky. But don't worry now, there's no enemy here. Yet. That is the red lump. It makes you not flinch or get staggered when hit. Which in this game is basically useless. It's terrible. This is a defaced statue. And divine confetti. Divine confetti is found a lot around Shinto stuff. Here is the high priest of Mibu. He's not doing so well. His robes are important, though.
Oi. Oi, 何をしている?
どうじゃ? おお、よいぞ。溶けてきたぞ。じゃが足りぬ。なみなみ次や次へ。さあさあ、皆の衆。さあさあ、飲め飲め。振る舞い酒ぞ。さあさあ、皆で都人に。ああ、どうか松座にお加えください。 きてしもうた。やはりこの水でも薄い。これでは溶けきれぬ。都人になりきれぬ。おお、都の水で亀を満たさねば。なみなみ、なみなみ。
So he wants the water of the palace. We don't have yet what he wants. We can't complete his quest until we have beaten Sunken Valley and finished off Mibu. It is actually a good idea to give him that. I'll show later what happens when you do. Just going over here in the water, stuff under the water. Always strange how they have things down there, but you can't go underwater. You can only swim on the surface. And that jump doesn't work so well. And because you can't open the door from the inside, I have to do this again. Break that pot, it doesn't matter. You can just shatter them all. Let's go up here to the roof though, if I stop missing all my jumps. Here is a sort of shrine. There is a very important item here. You can already see it. One of the most important items in the entire game. Right here. So important. Yep. Right there. That's it. A prayer bead. Oh, also a branch of the everlasting Sakura tree from the Divine Realm, seemingly. Don't know why this is here exactly. Well, I kind of do. You might have figured out by now. Mibu is very heavily tied to Fountainhead and the Divine Realm. Now, we need one of those branches. I don't know why we don't just take this one. I guess it would be too easy. It's not really climactic of, oh, I found it in some guy's attic. Here is a Torii Gate. These usually signify when you're entering like a magical realm or some place of great religious importance. Somewhere sacred or holy. This is the corrupted monk. I was just showing a little bit there. It doesn't, I don't think it works anymore. It might. That is a speedrun tactic. If you go to the side over there, hit her with 2 snap seeds, hit her with a fistful of ash a few times, and then use firecrackers, you can jump off the stone and get a stealth backstab and instant kill her. Now, this is an illusion, but that's why Snapseeds work. There's actually an anti-illusion prosthetic tool you can get later that also works. Can't use it yet. She is a hard fight for a lot of new players. Now, if you look at her face, she's wearing a no mask, seemingly a Hanyo one. You can see the devil horns even. She is wielding a naginata and appears to be fighting in the style of Onna Bugeisha, the Japanese warrior women of the warrior class. Now, her headdress makes me think she is a battle nun. She's also wearing a lot of religious iconography and items. This boss is a deflect monster. You've got to deflect most things she has. She just has tons of long combos. She has a good amount of health. The timing it is a bit tricky. She sets it up a little bit where it is 2 quick deflects, 1 delayed, and then 1 really quick one, if I remember right. Got to get the Mikiri there. Don't hit her too often. She will sometimes suddenly jump back while spinning, like that right there, and it will catch you easily. She has a sweep. If she's backing up while sweeping, don't jump towards her. She will actually do a follow-up attack and hit you. Mortal Blade is good against her. Now, that is an illusion. You may recognize that boss from a lot of promo material and from the demo for Sekiro. And we learned the Mibu breathing technique. Yeah, I was lying earlier. You can dive underwater in this game, and it opens up a lot of areas. It doesn't exactly make entire zones, but you're going to get to go back and find a lot of secrets and little side paths. She was guarding this sacred entrance here. Let's take some more looks at our skills. We have a lot of very useful pads to go with prosthetics, with Mikiri counter, with making our medicine more effective. Defensive ones aren't super useful to me yet. Well, they're useful, it's just not necessary. They make the game easier, but I'm on New Game Plus 6 Demon Pell Charmless difficulty. I'm working up to New Game Plus 7 of that. No hit, no damage. We're going to take a look more closely at the Corrupted Monk. So here I have a Hanya mask, a traditional one. You can see the horns on the head. The face is very similar. The main difference that I notice is that Corrupted Monk doesn't have the teeth inside or the eyes. It's like a void. You can see all of the prayer beads being worn by her and the nun headdress. Well, what the hell was she guarding? Why was she guarding it? Why was there some sort of ancient warrior nun demon lady here? The Hanya mask typically represents a sort of like female demon or vengeful spirit, full of sorrow and anger and rage. As far as I know, jealousy too. I'm not big on No Theater. No did exist at this period. I'm not sure if the Hanya mask did. What the hell is that? Is that a giant cloth udder? Here we have a weird pink jagged stone on top of stones. And some writing. Let's pick up the Shelter Stone. This is one of the incense items we need. It is a bridal area. You offer yourself up here with the incense of the palace. Tons of slugs here. Just an absolute abundance of slugs. And what is this called? A palanquin? It's not quite a cart. You carry it. It could be a cart if it was on wheels. I'm pretty sure they have like cart-style palanquins. Now that we have that, though, we have some exploring to do. Because we can breathe underwater. Mibu breathing lets you breathe underwater, actually. You don't have to manage your oxygen levels or anything like that. Over there, the clouds. Supposedly that's the Spiral Cloud Passage. I'm not quite sure. It's kind of in the wrong direction. Sekiro doesn't always make sense. Mibu and Fountainhead should be in the other direction. So you can attack underwater. You can block, you can use gourds and the Idol of Return. But that's it. You can't use prosthetics down here. Holy Chapter Infested, this is where it is if you did not talk to the Elder in the temple before beating Genichiro. a giant statue of Kanan down here, and a prayer bead. I don't know how that statue got there. This is not a path available from above. That is a massive statue? I don't know how it got there. That's ridiculous. There's not like a large amount of debris or anything. There's a few wooden planks. I don't know how that could have fallen down there. And it appears to be wider than the entrance to the cave. There was another part of Mibu I mentioned, but we didn't actually go to. And there is this lake in the middle. Within it, there are these are fish that defend the carps. As I've mentioned, carp, well, in-game, sometimes it feels like these should be translated to koi. There's one later on that very clearly looks like a koi fish. Koi are a type of carp, and it's not technically wrong to call it just a carp, but, you know, kind of the association with the carps. That is a red-eyed treasure carp. The red eyes signify a carp that cannot become greater. It cannot become a great carp. The eyes, though, are immortal. They will last after the death of the carp. Carps with red eyes have an imperfect number of scales. Scales are very important to a lot of, just in general, like religion, mythology, folklore. Over here is Dio. We've gotten to him before part 3 has started, so we can kill him now with the Mortal Blade. But yeah, a prayer bead. Very useful. The number of scales is very important for carps and for dragons. From someone I know, Miyabi, she told me actually the story of the carp becoming the dragon by jumping up the waterfall and passing the mouth of the waterfall. And the number of scales the carp can have is important. This, I believe, is the guy of Mibu Village that Basket Boy was telling us about. The person who was burning pine resin to keep the villagers at bay. It might not be, though. That character is not really talked about in any other points. But yeah, the carps and their relation to dragons is seemingly important here in Sekiro. I'm still going through some Confucian and ancient Chinese texts. I'm sure everyone else is jealous. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's nice night reading. Here is the pine resin ember. Now, if we give this to the blacksmith, he will be able to upgrade our weapons better. We can also use it as a buff. That was a joke, of course. It's for upgrading your prosthetic flame vent. At least I believe it's for the flame vent. Well, time to leave Zombie Village. Not Zombie Town, Zombie Village. Where might we be heading next? The old grave. As you can see, it's getting to be a bit more like sunset. The sun is kind of up in the sky, and I missed that guy. I hate that. I hate fighting these guys. They suck. A lot of bosses are easier than these monk dudes. I don't like them. If that wasn't clear. And just the Ashigaru foot soldier. Now remember, if you need in your save file the merchant man near stairwell. If you need him to upgrade and he needs to know what samurai need. Right there, the salt. They're running out of salt for cooking and for purifying bodies. Now, why'd I come here? Oh, that's right. There's a moat. Why am I equipping the terror gourd? Well, I believe I mentioned that you should not swim in the middle of this moat earlier in the LP. We're gonna find out why. When I was first playing, I locked onto what's down here, and I was like, wow, is there a big alligator down here? Nope. It is a headless underwater with their unfortunate butt tear grab. Underwater headless are a real pain. They have less health, and you only have to death blow them once, I believe. This is why they're a pain. These heat-seeking little things. Understand, if you're doing all mini bosses, no damage, no hit, that includes these underwater battles. This is the easiest one, also. When you see that perilous, you can move to the side. You can also just get behind it or far enough away. That is a sort of grab. It's sucking it in. It reminds me of certain type of turtles that live in rivers, where they create a sort of void in their mouth and suck in water to draw in fish. That right there. Now, when you're diving, if you press the dodge button, you will do your faster swim. If you press attack, you'll do a lunging thrust. Otherwise, you do sort of slow, like swipes, like so. Now, Headless drops Spirit Falls. Headless are tormented, mistreated, dead heroes who died horribly. The Spirit Falls they drop are actually the sugars, or buffs. The thing is, they're infinite, but cost emblems. That way you can always have buffs easily without having to farm sugars or find them. But that's this episode of Sekiro. I will be seeing you next time when we go to Sunken Valley. And do some dialogue stuff first, I think, actually. Bye-bye.